Hello, agents. Welcome to the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights aims to give you the latest news and updates about the Niantic Spatial game Ingress. Whether you're a veteran agent who has recursed 17 times or a brand new agent working to level 8, wondering what a fracker is, this is your place for the latest Ingress news and discussions. 2026 sees Ingress renewed under Niantic Spatial and many new campaigns to engage agents. So, plenty to discuss. Share any thoughts by checking our social media links. Now, over to Ada.
Additional intel available.
Hello, agents, and welcome to episode 156 of the Ingress Insights podcast. This week's episode, mostly going over an apology from the Ingress team for the anomaly mess last weekend, the start of the courier files, and also be looking ahead at what's happening in the game in June, because we already have this schedule for June. Before we get into all of that, I do want to go through my own progress on Ingress. So, as you might know, last time you listened, I was getting close to level 16. I was level 15. Level 16 is currently the highest level in Ingress. If you want to progress further than that, you need to recurse, which resets your level back to 1, and then you go all over again. And it's easier to level up because you've already done all the badges, and you get a few extra little perks for it on there. So I recursed at the weekend. I think it was on Sunday or early Monday that I actually was able to hit the button. I'm now back up to level 6, so I'm on 221,000 out of 221,698 out of 300,000 AP that I need to get to level 7. The higher level weapons of the game are level 8, so at the minute I'm just hacking some level 6. I think you hack some stuff for the level above, so some level 7 stuff as well. So I'm waiting to get to level 8 again, and be nice to use the bursters and use the power cubes at the right level on there. So I got quite used to that, but I leveled up pretty quickly. I think I went from like 1 to 5 in the afternoon. It's just a little bit 6 or 7 going on there. And then 7 to 8 shouldn't take me too long either. I'll be back up to level 16 again pretty soon, I'm sure. With that personal update out of the way, I'll go into the anomaly news for Orion and start off with the apology from the Ingress team and details of what they're doing to sort it out. So I covered about the latency issues during the anomalies during the May 16th weekend. Since then, several, Ingress news channels updated and shared the similar message. It reminded me a bit of the Pokemon Go one they shared, and there was the letter for it, which I don't even remember the name of now, but that campaign, just to try and get the Ingress team to listen a bit on there. So it was shared by like Ingress Updates English. I'd assume that other language channels as well, the EGR and RGNN. Following this, Brian posted an update on the Ingress news site on the 22nd of May, saying May 16th server latency debrief. On Saturday, May 16th, agents experienced severe server latency, game actions failing to register, and general scanner instability. Crucially, we know this is not isolated to Orion Sydney and Orion Prague Anomaly live events. The ripple effects are felt with players worldwide. As you may know, an XM anomaly generates a hyper-concentrated spike in database action at a small number of portals. Hundreds of agents deploy, attack, and mod the same portals at the same millisecond. Ingress has been running on a new database since before the Plus Gamma Hyderabad and Plus Gamma Buenos Aires anomalies, but Orion was the first anomaly series with this increased level of agent activity. This past weekend, we experienced a perfect sum of 3 major bottlenecks. The first was write contention gridlock. Our new database handles simultaneous update attempts differently than our previous database. Above a certain level of traffic, the retry attempts start to outnumber the first try attempts, and the ability to make updates slows down dramatically. The second one was tens of thousands of ghost records. Game objects like portals and resonators change constantly, so our database utilizes an index to keep track of each change. However, every change leaves behind a ghost or temporary tombstone row that stays in the system for at least 1 hour. Our database becomes clogged with ghosts, and delays were caused by needing to sift through tens of thousands of ghost records to find the real game actions. Because our database handles global data, this slowed the global portal network, creating the ripple effect latency experienced by players outside of the anomaly zone. 3. Slow automatic scaling. We use autoscalers or systems to automatically add more computers to the cluster when there are more requests. The start of an anomaly comes with a sudden rush of traffic which the autoscalers cannot respond to quickly enough, so we preemptively force more capacity in the system before the start of each anomaly. However, in combination with the issues above, the autoscalers still could not keep up. Our team live monitors and scores every anomaly, and we have additional team members on call for when emergencies happen. When our automated alerts identified issues and paged team members, manually bypassed our automated systems and forced servers onto higher end machines to try and handle the processing load, overscaled our database and it's far beyond our automated limits, and forced background systems to stay at max capacity so they would not drop further connections. These brute force updates kept Ingress from crashing, but they did not fix the architectural issues we were seeing. To try and prevent these traffic jams and ghosts from disrupting future events, we're currently working on the following. The first point is to move to in-memory portal updates. We're completing a new game entity system that should allow game actions to process in faster temporary server memory first. Bust the ghosts. We ain't afraid of no ghosts, but we are changing how database indexes time. This should eliminate major bottlenecks we identified last weekend during the anomalies. And the third one they're trying is a pre-split anomaly zones. Since we know how each geographic rows will receive extra traffic during an anomaly, we'll split these rows into their own shards so the database can allocate resources to those sections of data instead of having to tick the active areas and then reorganize the data after the anomaly has already started. As an additional mitigation step, we are going to temporarily reduce the XMP attack radius because of the right contention we're seeing with simultaneous updates when XMP is fired. We will increase XMP attack strength, but reduce the attack radius so that fewer portals are attacked by each XMP fired. This temporary adjustment will go live Tuesday, 26th of May, 5 p.m. UTC, and revert back to its current attack radius on Monday, June 1st, 5 p.m. UTC. We apologise for these issues, and our hope is that you have a clearer understanding of what happened and what we are doing to address it. We are working with Orion Anomaly points of contact to distribute Orion Anomaly medal passcodes to agents who contributed to the Orion Sydney and Orion Prague anomalies and need a passcode, and we're also discussing a make good specifically for Orion Sydney and Orion Prague anomaly participants. Additionally, we are adding a make good to the store's free item category available to all agents, which contains the following: 1 Aegis Shield, 4 Rare Multi Hat, 20 Power Cube, 20 XMP, 20 Resonator, 8 Rare Heatsink, 1 Ada Refractor, 1 Jarvis Virus, 1 Kinetic Capsule, 4 Very Rare Shields, 8 Rare Shields, and 1 SoftBank Ultralink. This free loadout kit will be available for 7 days starting Friday, May 22nd, 5 pm UTC to Friday, May 29th, 5 pm UTC. Thank you for your patience, your detailed bug reports, and your continued dedication to Ingress. As always, we are committed to continuing to prove Ingress, and thank you for your support. Brian, on behalf of the Ingress team. So the main takeaway there is that they know there are issues and are trying to do ways to sort it out, but obviously we don't know if it will work. They've got to try things. The interesting one is reducing the XMP attack radius, because that's only for a little while they're doing that, from May 26th to Monday, June 1st. That does cover the anomaly period we've got coming up next weekend in Cure City and Jersey City. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects that anomaly. Additionally, there is the Make Good bundle available free in the store. It's got quite a lot of good stuff in there. I probably won't claim it myself until the 29th if possible, because I'll try and get back to level 8, so the XMPs and the Power Cubes are level 8 ones on there. But it does seem like the Ingress team have at least listened. They know that there's some ways they can do to fix it, and they're going to try it, and we'll just have to find out after the Cure City and Jersey anomalies next weekend to whether it worked, basically. There is a new medal that's been added to the store as well, so I'll go through and discuss that next. As part of the Orion Anomaly series, a new bundle has been added to the store as well with a badge in. So this is the Victor Curry's 2026 bundle, showing Victor staring at the sky with a spatial background behind him. And it features the Victor Curry's 2026 medal and 5 very rare portal shields for 30,800 CMU. Similar in design to the Akira Sasaka 2026 bundle we've got already. I believe there's another one yet to come as well on there before the end of this anomaly season. That wraps up everything related to the Orion Anomaly, so I'll move into some general Ingress news next. We'll start with the smallest bit of Ingress news, which is there was a new update released a few days ago, so this is version 3.9.2. It says, "Sure, tacos are yum," referencing the agent name that everyone saw on their completed anomaly bounties. But showing a completed anomaly imminent campaign is not. We fixed the issue causing this campaign to show up for all agents. Also fixed the red dot notification pip on DroneNet in the main menu. So it was one that wouldn't go away, reminding quite a few people that Harry Potter was united with the red dot that stayed there. So those are gone and sorted in the latest update, so make sure you're all updated on there. We have also had the courier files start today on the 22nd of May, so you'll be able to see that campaign in your scanner on there, and you'll see the tasks as I've run through these before, but the first ones are earning 90 glyph hack points, deploying 25 portal mods, destroying 42 portal mods, and recharging portals with 250,000 XM. Doing those will get you, well, doing any three of those will get you 400 Orion tokens. I'm so confused, they're not all called plus something, as well as 3 level 8 Ultra Strikes and 1 Media. So it seems like the Medias are being used again for a bit of lore on there, so that's nice to see in this one. We do still have all the Nemesis Redux campaigns going on for a few more days, so make sure you're completing those on there if you have picked up the other ones. And then finally, we've got the Peridot Keeper campaign coming up on the 1st of June. So that one you'll now be able to see in your scanner starting soon. It just says, thank you for raising your dot. I've been through the task list for that one as well, and you get a medal for that. So it's always nice to have an extra badge on there, and as a reminder for Peridot Mobile as well. That is about it for general Ingress news. I guess the main bit was the anomaly apology and the courier file starting off. So we'll see how those are progressing on, and we've got the anomaly next weekend as well, so that'll be interesting to go through. I've got a little bit of Wayfarer / Recon stuff to go through next. Next up, you actually get an ad break. Hello, agents. Hope you're happily hacking away whilst I interrupt this podcast. I want to talk for a second about the TeePublic store that I run for Ingress Insights, which is over at teepublic.com/user/ingress-insights. I have been putting up quite a lot of new designs lately, which can get on socks, shirts, mugs, tote bags, to name just a few things. So for May, I've added quite a few designs on there. Some have sold already. So there's one which is a kinetic capsules shirt, showing an image of 2 kinetic capsules saying, I don't want to be outside, but these kinetic capsules aren't going to walk themselves, which I've seen already sell. One with a quantum capsule on with like a blurring on it to show that echo still remain of the quantum capsule. There's also one featuring a hypercube, which I was watching a certain film and then thought of it on there. It says phenomenal cosmic power ETBT cube for the hypercube. And then the final 2 new ones I've uploaded this month is one with a heatsink saying, why would you only hack a portal once? And then finally one saying only keys, showing the speed glyph on there, because obviously you only get keys with that speed glyph. Anytime new items get added to the TeePublic store, they are discounted for 2 days. So you can get them, for example, instead of £19, it's £13 for a shirt. Again, there's discounts on whatever you're getting on there for those 2 days because it's a brand new design. So I would ask that you just check it out from time to time. If there's a design that grabs you on there, or if you think there's something that is changing on design, do let me know. Finally, I'm trying to increase the visibility of the podcast on Apple Podcasts. So if you do listen on that service and you have a few moments spare, I would appreciate if you rate it and then leave me any feedback on there. That's it for this advert. I'll let you get back to your regular scheduled podcast now. Before I do get into Wayfarer and Recon, I'm not sure what I'm doing next week for the podcast. I may be a bit tired after my break. So just in case, I'm going to run through the events we've got coming up for June. I already mentioned that we've got the Peridot campaign coming on the 1st of June. So that'd be interesting to do and get the medal from there. Then on the 6th of June, we've got First Saturday, which you can register through Fev Games and attend a local event in your area. The 14th of June brings us second Sunday, which is from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. local time. And during that time, you're aiming to complete one of the second Sunday campaigns. So whether that's scans, missions, however you want to do it on there, you can then be able to progress from that. And then from mid-June, we have the Summer Solstice 2026 operation / campaign, and that will span multiple weekends, and we'll get some more details for that as we get closer. Then finally, the last Orion Anomalies are on the 20th of June in Geneva, Switzerland, and Lima, Peru. During June, we tend to have the Pride XM activated on the 1st or around then, so your scanner will look a bit prettier because you'll have all the red and yellow and green and pink and purple, all those lovely colours that appear on the map. We may get a few more surprises during June. I don't think we'd got the courier files announced previously and what that was. So we may get a few more things coming up, but that's probably it for June. And then sometime in June, we'll get the Q3 Anomaly series and details for that. I will mention here that the Anomaly name for the Q3 series has been announced, and it's sticking with the spatial theme being Apollo, obviously after the spacecrafts, not after the Animal Crossing Eagle character, but it seems like they're sticking with the space theme for at least 2026. So I'm just wondering what they'll do next on there following Apollo and how that works into what the overall story seems to be was going about to Nemesis and Hank Johnson and possible lore bits on there. Be good to see what happens with that and what they actually do. Whilst we are waiting for Recon to come back, and there's not had any updates on when that's happening, I am still doing a bit of Wayfarer, even though it only contributes to Pokemon Go at the moment. So it was interesting to see that the Wayfarer team announced a new Wayfinder rating system. So if you used OPR before, you used to the usual like poor, good, great kind of rating system on there. Niantic Tintino posted on the 20th of May. We're excited to launch the new Wayfinder rating system version 2. And these changes are designed to offer not only greater transparency, but also provide a clearer path for progressing your rating. Additionally, this change will incorporate more of your activity within Wayfarer, moving beyond the sole focus review activity. This new approach is built to recognize a broader range of your contributions, approved nominations, approved edits, and earned agreements. So the new Wayfinder rating list system consists of 5 levels rather than 4. So you go from novice, which is 0 to 99, apprentice, which is 100 to 299, explorer, which is 300 to 699, expert, which is 700 to 1499, and champion, which is the top level 1500 points. Nantitino mentions that your profile page now reflects changes that have been applied retroactively, and your new Wayfinder rate incorporates all past accepted submissions, including accept nominations, edits for photos, text, locations. Nantitino also detailed how to progress in there, so getting an approved nomination will get you plus 3 points. Getting approved edit will get you plus 2.5 points, and an agreement from reviewing will get you plus 1 point. And they put agreement points will be awarded for agreements earned from nomination and edit reviews. The interesting thing that I found is it comes with a few perks on there. So within Ingress, we know that the amount of nominations used to be like 13, 14, refreshing every so many days. And then it changed to having 40 as the maximum, one refreshed every day on there. So you could use up 40 in a day, then you get one back the next day, one back the next day on there. Wayfarer's had a big shift now in what happens on there. So if you are a novice, you can only have up to 10 nominations, 10 edits, and 10, well, basically 10 photo edits, 10 text edits, 10 location edits. And you accrue more nominations at one a day. If you're at the apprentice level, all those go up to 40. So as we know it on there, and then getting one back a day on there once you've used one. The third level Explorer jumps up, it doubles it to 80. So you could do 80 nominations a day or 80 photo edits and get those back at 2 per day. So you could use 2 nominations today and you get those back the next day. Expert doubles it again. So you get 160 submissions, photo edits, text edits, and location edits. And that accrues back at 5 per day. And then finally, Champion goes a bit crazy. You get 320 submissions, edits, text edits, and location edits, and they come back at 10 per day. So I can't imagine going out and nominating 320 portals in a day, but it is technically possible to nominate 320 way spots in a day now through Wayfarer if you're at the champion level and if you let your nominations build up. So I imagine that's very handy for some people on there to be able to do that. Niantic did note that more additions encompassing more of your Wayfarer activity will be coming soon, as well as perks to unlock as you progress through the new Wayfinder rating. Some things to look forward to are submission distance increases and more to be announced at a later date. So that'd be great as well if Ingress got that for extra submission distance based on how well you've been doing. It just makes me annoyed that Recon shut down and then we get nothing more on there. A while back, there was an investigation that an agent shared into some AI reviewing that happened on Recon, and that led to some enlightened agents, probably not actual agents, probably just bots, that got suspended, and they noted that those accounts are now all back online. However, they have had their Recon badges removed, so that seems to be a forcible removal on there, which I've not seen before. I know agents have requested for some badges to be removed, but that seems like they've just basically put them back to 0 on Recon and removed their badge entirely. Whether they're locked out of it when it comes back, I don't know. I don't know how banning users in Recon/Ingress would work on there, whether they had a system for that. But now that they've got that sorted, maybe a Recon revival is on the cards. For me, I don't think it's going to happen until at least September, because they'll close the Peridot game at the end of August, and then it'll be a case of seeing how things are working on there, seeing what extra resources they've got spared to Ingress. That's really all I've got for this week, folks. So thank you so much for listening. As I may do a pre-recorded episode next week, so it might just go over one subject, but I'll see how I feel after I get back, how knackered I am. But for now, hope you have a great Sunday and happy hacking.
Intel package transferred.
Before I let you get to the outro, folks, I just want to share I'm also doing a new podcast. So this is where I'm looking at a show for the first time alongside someone that's watched lots of episodes of the show. The show itself is called Murder Drones, and the podcast you're looking for is Murder Drones Mayhem. As I said, something I've not done before, a kind of a rewatch show for one host, watch for the first time for me, where we discuss it on there, see what we think of it. The first episode should be dropping shortly after my podcast, so do look out for it and subscribe, and it will help out the new show on there. It will only be a certain number of episodes, unlike this show that goes on all the time, because there's only a certain number of episodes to watch and review on there. So appreciate you taking a bit of time just to listen to the first one. That would be great. Thank you very much, all. Happy hacking. Thank you, agents, all. This is the latest episode of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can do that in a couple of ways. So the easiest way to support the podcast is via Patreon. So you can find at patreon.com/Ingress Insights. And there's a free tier, a $1 a month tier, whatever that is in your local currency, and a $5 a month tier. You can check out what benefits those come with on the Patreon. One other thing you can do that's totally free that helps out a lot is rating the podcast on your podcast service of choice. So where you can leave a rating or leave comments, that always helps increase visibility. And then finally, you can follow us on various social media channels. We use most of them, but the best one to follow us on now is Blue Sky. So that's just ingressinsights.bsky.social. Search for Ingress Insights on Blue Sky, you'll find us on there. Finally, sharing the podcast with friends, family, other agents who want to listen and get updates, so it helps out and helps get interviews with various Ingress people or other game related people to then increase visibility more. So anything you can do from those is great. Thanks again for listening, agents. Have a great day.